Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us here today on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And we're going to talk about pitching prospect Ben Brown. Ben Brown is currently on the 40-man roster and listed as our sixth overall prospect. Ben is a pitcher that we got in the David Robertson trade in early August of 2022. You might recall we sent Robertson to the Phillies, and at the same time, we sent Efros to the Yankees. That's when we got Hayden as Wesneski. So that time period, we traded two major league relievers, Robertson and Efros, for a couple of what I would consider potential starting pitchers, prospect starters. And Ben Brown was who we got in return for David Robertson. So he's on the 40-man roster. He's currently listed as our sixth overall prospect. So I thought it was time to take a look. Let's get to know Ben Brown. Ben Brown, born September 9th, 1999. He is a 24-year-old right-hand pitcher, lanky dude, 6'6", 210. Went to high school on Long Island, high school, Ward Melville High School in East Setauket, New York. He was drafted by the Phillies in the 33rd round of the 2017 draft, signed for a signing bonus of $60,000. As a rookie, he made his debut in 2017 with the Gulf Coast Phillies. They kept him in check. He pitched in 10 games, 14 innings total, did well, had a 2.57 ERA in rookie ball. Then in 2018, he pitched for two teams. Started out back again with the Gulf Coast Phillies, pitched another 10 games for them, posted an ERA of 3.12 in 49 innings. Got bumped up to the Low A Williamsport Crosscutters, pitched two games for them, ERA at 7.04 in just 7 2/3 innings. He needed Tommy John surgery in 2019. Only pitched 4 games through 13 2/3 innings for the Lakewood Blue Claws in Single A with the Phillies to start 2019, but was injured and needed Tommy John. So the early 2019, he had Tommy John surgery, missed the entire year. Then in 2020, he didn't play either because of the COVID year. So he had only pitched like 20 innings in 17 and 18, then another 13 innings in 19 before having Tommy John surgery and missing the entire 2020 season. So didn't really get a chance to play that much. So in 2021, they start him over. So the Phillies send him back to rookie ball, like a reboot. He pitches 3 games, 4 innings, posts a 2.25 ERA. Then they bump him back to high A, the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. It doesn't go well, pitches 20 innings with a 7.50 ERA. So starts in 17. Here we are in 2021, and at the end of the 21 season, he's only thrown 25 2/3 innings up to this point. So it's kind of been a rough go for Ben to this point. He starts the 22 season with the Blue Claws, goes 73 innings, posts a 3.08 ERA. So that's the flash that I think the Cubs saw. So on August 2nd, they trade David Robertson to the Phillies for Ben Brown. He gets assigned immediately to Tennessee to play for the Smokies. And so in 22, with the Smokies, he throws 31 innings over 7 games and posts a 4.06 ERA. So the totals for his 2023 with the Blue Claws in the Phillies organization and the last month and a half with the Cubs organization, the Smokies, he goes 104 innings, 3.38 ERA, 149 Ks. So a pretty good 2022. It's the first time he's thrown any substantial innings. So that's a very small sample size that we're dealing with, but it looks good in 2022. He starts 2023 with the Smokies, pitches 4 games, 20 innings, but he does really well. He's pretty much lights out in those 4 games with the Smokies. He's got a .45 ERA and a sub-1 whip at .95. So they go ahead and promote him to Iowa. In Iowa, he throws 22 games, posts a .533 ERA in 72 innings. So that's kind of where we are. That brings us to, off-season. Prospect Ben Brown, number 6 prospect. So I just want to talk to you guys about Ben now as Ben Brown, the prospect. He's 24 years old. He's on the 40-man roster. We gave up David Robertson for him in 2022. So obviously the Cubs are high on him, and I think you'll see why. Let's do his grades first. They grade him out this way. He's plus on fastball, curve, and slider. They grade him at 60 for each of those. He's below average with a 40 grade on his changeup and a little below average on his control. So I'm going to take those pitches and his grades and just talk to those a little bit. So his fastball is a plus fastball. They grade him at 60. And he's 6'6", and he uses that 6'6" frame in addition to a high arm slot. So he comes pretty much over the top with his release. And so his fastball averages 94 to 96, peaks out about 98. But with that 6'6" frame and that high arm slot, he blows that fastball by hitters. It also has some sidearm run on it. So, that's a pretty good pitch. 6'6", right over the top, mid-90s, peaks out at 98 with some side run on it, arm side run. It's a pretty good pitch. His curveball may be even better than his fastball. We call it a power curve, and he throws it mid-80s, but it's got that downer breaks. Not that 12-6 Uncle Charlie. It's just a hard down-breaking curveball. He gets swing and miss in the zone, but he also gets chase with it. So I've seen that pitch on video, and it's pretty nasty. Arm slot's the same as the fastball, but he just comes over the top with it, and that downer break is really nice. So fastball power curve. He's also got a sort of a hybrid between a slider and a cutter, and he throws that around 91 miles per hour. And it doesn't have the horizontal movements. It's got more depth on it, but it's a really good pitch. So as of now, Ben Brown has plus fastball, plus power curve, and a really good slider and cutter. The pitch that he's working on is his change. And the guys believe because he's only really had that one season. He's thrown very few innings. Because of that, he's only thrown his changeup literally 2 times as a pro. So he's still working on it. We don't know what to expect with that changeup, but if he adds any kind of a changeup to that 3-pitch fastball, power curve, and his hard slider cutter, any kind of a change is going to be extremely helpful. So he's got, we'll call it 3/4 of a repertoire of really good major league ready pitches. They grade him at 45 in terms of his command, and he's long, but he keeps his long levers in sync. It's not really the problem. He tends to work on the edges. He tends to work on the upper side and the bottom of the strike zone. So he tends to have small targets. So sometimes his control is inconsistent because how he works up and he works down. The Cubs see him, and when they drafted or when they traded for him and sent David Robertson to the Phillies, they weren't sure, but now they see him as a middle of the rotation guy, or even a late inning reliever. So, we're back to this 2024 spring training. We got pitching arms, and we talked earlier about how at the convention they talked about giving a bunch of pitchers looks, and Ben Brown was on that list. So Ben Brown, Cade Horton are probably going to get a look, maybe even some starts. So, boy, we've got a basket full of some young arms, and I think we're going to see what they can do in spring training for sure. If not, at Wrigley early on. So we'll keep our eyes on Ben Brown. He's definitely a prospect to watch as spring training starts, and he looks really good. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that helps get your head around Ben Brown. We see his name on the 40-man roster. Most of us don't know that much about him, so I hope that helps. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. As always, hit that subscribe button for me, and we'll see you very soon. Go Cubs, go.